Hi everyone! Today we will be looking at the interaction between music, physics, and biology. We will be learning about sound, how it travels, and how we hear it. Take notes and be ready to discuss it in class tomorrow. Here's Mr. Lehman with music.
You might ask yourself, how is music developed? Well, to answer that question, we have to look and see how sound works first. Within the Western music tradition, sound and music notation was developed first by examining and discovering what we call the harmonic series. The harmonic series takes the basic pitches of a note and discovers the overtones that exist within that note. Take, for example, in the key of C. So we'll have a low C, take around a C2 on the piano. Within that note, we have several other higher pitches that we might not initially hear. So we have a low C, and then an octave above that. Then we'll discover above that we have the fifth of a note. That gives us a G. Above that we have another C, and then E. That gives us a triad, specifically a major triad. So a lot of music is discovered within nature. And if you keep going up within the harmonic series, you'll have all the pitches of a major scale. This is how music was first developed. When we first discovered the major scale, then they started messing around with the order that we use the notes, and with human discovery and interest, started to develop music from that.
When most energy travels through a medium, it moves in waves that can be approximated using the sine function, as y equals a sine omega t plus delta, where y is the displacement, a is the amplitude, delta is an offsetting factor, and omega is the angular frequency. We'll be studying how the constants a, omega, and delta will stretch, compress, and move the graph of the sine function, much in the way it moves the graphs of other functions we've already studied in pre-calculus. After traveling to our ears and interacting, as we'll see in just a second, its loudness is perceived as a ratio of logarithmic functions related to power. L sub p is equal to 10 log base 10 p over p naught times decibel, where L is the loudness, p is the power, p naught is a reference power, and decibel is the units. Once again, the constants are going to modify the graph of the log function, as we will see in class. To explain how ears work, here's Miss Clark.
There are three parts of the ear: the external, middle, and internal layers. The external layer contains the pinna and the external acoustic meatus. The pinna collects the sound waves and funnels them into the external acoustic meatus. This is a short tube which carries sound to the eardrum, also known as the tympanic membrane. That leads us to the middle ear, which contains the tympanic membrane and the bones, which are the malleus, the incus, and the stapes. As the sound wave travels down the external acoustic meatus, it hits the tympanic membrane. This then sends vibrations to the bones, which amplify the sound so they can move through the fluid in the semicircular canals. Those are part of the internal ear. The internal ear contains the cochlea, the semicircular canals, and the organ of Corti. As the frequencies are amplified, they are able to move through the fluid in the semicircular canals. They move to different areas. They move through the canal to be sent to different areas of the organ of Corti. This is able to then send the different frequencies via the cochlear nerve to the auditory cortex in the temporal lobe, which allows us to hear. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to take notes over this lecture and be ready to do the work tomorrow in class. See you then.